Trump is targeting Democratic states, blue states, to review and basically create a case to take away your federal funding. Let's put it at full mass. Trump administration to target federal funding for mostly blue states. So the Trump administration has ordered a review of federal funding for a group of Democratic-controlled states in order to investigate what he calls fraud. The Trump administration has ordered a review of federal funding sent to more than a dozen Democratic-led states, according to multiple sources familiar with the matter. The sweeping scale of the review is outlined in a budget data request that was sent Tuesday to all federal departments and agencies, except for the Department of Defense and the Department of Veteran Affairs. The jurisdictions included in the budget office requests are California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Illinois, Massachusetts, Minnesota, New Jersey, New York, Oregon, Rhode Island, Vermont, Virginia, Washington State. It also includes the District of Columbia. The Office of Management and Budget memo, which was reviewed by CNN, requests detailed spending information to, quote, facilitate efforts to reduce the improper and fraudulent use of those funds. Notably, the effort, quote, does not involve withholding funds, the memo says, and is part of a data gathering exercise. Now, at this point, if you believe that, you're much more foolish than the Trump administration believes you to be. Naturally, this is a prerequisite to their corrupt execution of a plan, and this has been their 1-2 combination for damn near everything. So at this point, you have to know what's coming. They're doing this in order to make a case against the individuals who provide the information. There is no good faith system here. If you really believe they want to cut down on spending and eliminate waste and fraud, but the guy in charge of this is building a ballroom with gold trimming inside of the White House, spending millions of dollars damn near weekly, then, well, you get what you deserve. But if you know the truth, regardless of your political affiliation, say it. Say it. Why do you think they want to control social media so badly? Why do you think they want to have their cronies purchase things that they've never purchased before, like TikTok? Why? Because they realize that if they can control the focus, the mindset, the intent, and the intellect of the average person, they get to control everything from politics to corporations. They get to control sales. They get to manufacture need rather than respond to it. So that is part of the whole cycle. All of this is a power grab for themselves. The memo directs agencies to include in their spending reports all grants, all loans, all contracts and subcontracts, and other monetary awards provided to 13 states and Washington, D.C., because Washington, D.C. is black folk controlled, okay? Of all states voted for Democratic, all of the states who voted for Democratic nominees and former Vice President Kamala Harris in 2024 election, and 12 of the 13 states have Democratic governors. A 14th Democratic-led state has since been included in the review, according to a person familiar with the matter. They left one off, they got them back in. It's a damn shame. Quote, starting February 1st, we're not making any payments to sanctuary cities or states having sanctuary cities because they do everything possible to protect criminals at the expense of American citizens, Trump said last week in an economic speech in Detroit, and it breeds fraud and crime and all of the other problems that come with it. The irony is that statement, the prerequisite, is a lie. Sanctuary cities have a lower crime rate than cities that engage in non-sanctuary policy. And the biggest reason is because of cooperation. Cooperation and a better relationship, working relationship between community and law enforcement. That's the reason why. So if you look at the stats, you will see that the statement is flat out wrong. During a speech on Wednesday at the World Economic Forum in the Swiss resort town of Davos, Trump described the investigation's target as Somalian bandits. Quote, "We are moving forward with taking fraud seriously," end quote, said an Office of Management and Budget spokesperson who spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss internal proceedings. What happened to Doge, or Dodge as I called it? What happened to that agency? Well, come to find out, they actually cost you more money than they ever saved you. And so will this, because it is not about saving you anything. It is not about doing the right thing by the average person. As a matter of fact, if you're in one of these states, and I'm sure you have a lot of Republicans in these states as well, but to get out of the partisan argument, the taxes that you pay are then divvied up by the politicians whom you elect. So they're not giving you money at all. This comes from you. And now the Trump administration, who was elected as a Republican, this guy was the Republican nominee, is the Republican head of party. The party of less government intrusion, the party of lower taxes, is now the party who's saying to you, pay your taxes and you will likely get no service if you belong to one of these states. All right. Sharon, thoughts here.
Yeah, see, the thing about what they're doing, which is, of course, devilish, and you laid it out just right, Doc, is that not only blue people live in blue states. There's a
That's right.
significant number of their friends, supporters, who are going to be significantly hurt by this, perhaps even more than people who are more liberal leaning. So it's dumb, as we said, devilish, and it can't ultimately win. The other thing is when you have other countries, okay, nations that we like to look upon and say, oh, they're not as developed as we are, it is difficult for them to envision the kind of lifestyle most Americans are used to living over the course of the last 50 years. But when you do the opposite and attempt to take from people who are used to having, even at the pace and the rate that's going on currently and has been for the last decade, it's not going to be that easy. It's not going to be that easy to do this.
That's right. And like with all other policies, this one not thought out either. So you will see significant backlash and some course correction as they attempt to, once again, disenfranchise the average person. Okay, we'll bring up this as they come.